Okay, now let's start with the working capital management. In this, we'll be discussing on definition of working capital, why working capital is needed, objectives and aspects of working capital, purpose and need of working capital, concepts and components. Okay, introduction to working capital. Working capital, to simply state as, it is like a heart to the human body. Working capital is to the business organizations. Definition of working capital. We all know that working capital, in a formula, working capital is current asset minus current liability. And now what that refers to actually is the funds required to be invested in the business for a short period, usually up to 1 year, or capital needed to meet day-to-day expenses. Day-to-day expenses are called as operating expenses, like paying salary, paying for raw material, paying for wages, paying for other direct expenses like fuel, power, electricity, etc. etc. So these are all called as the day-to-day expenses or operating expenses for which we need funds. That fund is what is called as the working capital. It is also known as short-term capital or circulating capital. And working capital is the amount of funds necessary to cover the cost of operating the enterprise. Why working capital is needed in an organization? Because money needs to be circulated. They need money to pay bills. Therefore, working capital is also needed. Objectives of having working capital: to optimize investment in current asset, to see that company meet its current liabilities or obligations such as payment to the creditors, payment to wages, etc. Manage current assets to see that the return on current asset is more than the cost of capital. Proper balance between current assets and current liabilities. So for all these purposes, there should be working capital maintained in the organization. Okay, just a formula, as we all know, current asset minus current liability is what is called as the working capital. So from this you can see total current asset is 5,000 and total current liability is 3,200. Therefore our working capital is $1,800. These are the important aspects which determine the need for working capital, or which determine the nature of working capital: time, investment, credibility, and growth stage of the organization. Okay, which we will discuss in detail later. And the same thing, purpose of working capital is to maintain stock. When we say stock, here we have to be very clear. There are three types of stock. One is raw material, work in progress, and finished goods. So stock can be referred to three forms. Working capital is that, for example, a house. When you are starting to construct a house, the brick, cement, okay, sand, these are all called as the raw material. Then the building would have been raised. Half constructed building is what is called as work in progress. That is also a stock. And finally, fully completed house is called as a finished good, which has to be sold to somebody. Okay, so when we say stock, all these are the three forms of stock: raw material, work in progress, and finished goods. To gain credit to customers, to grant credit to customers, they need to have working capital, and to hold cash balances to meet the expenses. Working capital is needed. As we know, cash balance is a part of current asset. Current asset is a part of working capital. Need for working capital. This can be explained in a operating cycle. Working capital is almost like a cyclical thing happening in an organization. The operating cycle in a trading firm is the length of time required. Why we call it as a cycle? Working capital, the need can be put up as a operating cycle. Why we call it as a cycle is that there is some time required to convert cash into different stages. Okay, but all these different stages are part of the current asset. Therefore it comes as a operating cycle. Now let us first begin the operating cycle with cash. With the available cash balance in the organization, they buy inventory, that is raw material. Then the raw material is subject to production. Okay, so when they manufacture, they get the work in progress and also finished goods. FG here refers to finished goods. So that is part of inventory. So some time is required. From here, from this inventory of finished goods, it is sold. Okay, some time is taken to for the sales purpose, and after it is sold, you get the receivables, which means debtors. Most of the sales in an organization is credit sales, so there arises the receivables. So receivables or debtors, after some time they pay back to the company, so the arrow goes back to cash. So when the receivables pay, cash is obtained. So with the available cash, they again pay for the raw material, wages, etc. And once the raw material comes in, production happens and finished goods comes and sales happen. From the sales, debtors arise, and this cycle goes on and on. Therefore it is called as a operating cycle. These are all the day-to-day activities. Therefore it is also referred to as operating cycle. And it is, as I said earlier, it is referred to as the length of time. Okay, cash, I mean, some time is required to convert it as a raw material. It is another full form of operating cycle. Cash, some time is taken to convert as raw material, again work in progress, then finished goods, receivables, again as a cash. Okay, so this operating cycle, there are two types of operating cycle: gross operating cycle and net operating cycle. Gross is where raw material storage period is taken into consideration. Raw materials, as it come to the company, it doesn't immediately become a finished good. Some time is taken for storage, then it is converted into work in progress. Some period it remains as work in progress, that is called as work in progress holding period. From there it gets converted as a finished goods. Once it is converted as a finished good, it is not immediately sold, so it is for some time stored. So finished goods storage period, and from there it goes as sales and debtors. So debtors immediately they don't pay. Debtors, there is some credit period allowed for the debtors, say 45 days or 30 days. So that period is called as debtors collection period. So all these period together, the sum of all these periods is called as gross operating cycle. So what is net operating cycle? Okay, see, gross operating cycle is where raw material is converted into finished goods, and finished good is converted into debtors collection period. Okay, so once the debtors are paid, okay, with that cash the creditors are paid. Okay, with the debtors cash from D minus C, creditors are paid. So once you make the payment for all your obligations, you arrive at a stage called as net operating cycle. So gross operating cycle is raw materials to work in progress, period, conversion, from conversion of work in progress to finished good period. From there it is converted as a debtor collection period. From there it is converted as a cash, and from that period to payment to the creditors. Okay, so when you deduct that period, it is called as a net operating cycle. Okay, these are all the formulas which we will discuss later. Okay, while we do the problem only, these formulas are needed. So, but don't panic. These formulas, there is a shortcut for working out all these formulas. This is only for theoretical purpose. Formulas are given. You can have a look at the slide by yourself and understand the formulas. Okay. Now coming to the operating cycles in a year, how to calculate the number of operating cycles in a year? It is number of days in a year divided by net operating cycle in days. Okay, in a year it may be 365 days. So 365 days divided by how many operating cycles happen. As I have already told you, net operating cycle is the time taken to convert raw material cash into again cash. Okay, that is what is called as a operating cycle. If in a company, say if one time it happens in 365 days, it means that the operations are very poor. Whereas if the number of cycles are more, say 20, 30, Okay, when the number of the cycles is more, once the cash is used to pay the raw material and it is converted into finished where debtors are arrived and cash is paid, that is one cycle. If in a company there are more such cycles, it means that the company is a efficient company. So operating cycle determines the efficiency of a company. Therefore we work at the number of operating cycles in a year. More the number, it means more efficient the company is. Okay. Now coming to what is the amount of working capital that is to be maintained in a company, whether it is to be 1 lakh or 2 lakhs per month, or whether it has to be 20,000 or whatever it is. Okay, what is the quantum of working capital? Should it be always the same? Should it be always 1 lakh per month, or should it be 1 lakh during seasonal demand, or when, what is the quantum of working capital, what is the nature of working capital? Okay, to determine that there are various factors discussed. This is a very important question as far as this topic is concerned, not only with working capital, with the dividend, with the capital structure, you have similar question. What are the determinants of working capital or factors of working capital? I mean factors of say dividend, or it can be factors of capital structure. These are all the very important questions, and here in working capital, this is the most important question. Please keep it in mind. Okay, now coming to the determinants of working capital. General nature of business. The nature of business determines the quantum of working capital required. If the company is a manufacturing company, okay, more money is to be invested on raw material and manufacturing process, therefore huge capital is required. When it is just a trading company, that is buying and selling is a trading company. If it is just a trading company, lesser amount of working capital is needed. Okay, so it determines the nature of business, determines the working capital. Production cycle. If the production cycle is too lengthy, which means for manufacturing, if it takes say 45 hours or more than 3 days or 5 days, it means that the cycle is very high. If the cycle is too large, then huge working capital is required, and vice versa. Business cycle fluctuations, that is when the business cycle is not common. One time it will be huge sales, another time there will be lesser demand for the product. So when there are fluctuations, when the nature of the business is that there are fluctuations, say for example air conditioner. Okay, so when there is huge demand needed, huge working capital, and vice versa. Production policy, large scale production or small scale production. If it is large scale production, huge capital needed. Small scale production, lesser capital is needed. Okay, so credit policy, coming to the credit policy, if it is a liberal credit policy, if the company gives 90 days credit or 45 days credit, then they need huge working capital. Whereas if they are having a very stringent credit policy, that is 15 days credit policy, okay, then they need lesser working capital because debtors is quickly converted into cash. So immediately they will have working capital. Therefore, lesser working capital is required if the policy is stringent, whereas if it is liberal, huge working capital is required. Growth and expansion, if the company has a possibility of growth and expansion in future, huge working capital is required, and vice versa. Profit level, if the company wants to maintain huge profit, huge working capital. Level of tax, if the tax rate is high in the market, huge working capital is needed. Vice versa. Dividend policy, when the company's policy is to declare huge dividend, then it is a huge working capital. Again, depreciation policy high, the huge working capital is required. Price level changes, when there are fluctuations in the price changes, huge working capital required. And coming to the last thing, operational efficiency, when the company is having lot of or a very huge number of operating cycles in a year, then it means that they have huge working capital to run the company. Okay, so the remaining topics we will discuss in the next part of the video. Thank you, class.